Hello everyone, Mark Major here. This is the Action Figure Atorium, and I'm a real big toy collector here in Southeast Portland, also a studio owner, also old school marketing guy, and on this channel, some of you may know this, I cover a lot of these action figure Kickstarters. And it's a lot of fun to look at people's marketing and to do a little bit of analysis. Also, I kind of like to, dish a little bit on the toys themselves. And I have to say, quite a few of these Kickstarters I personally have backed. Some of them I've just bought a single figure. Others I've put considerable amount of money in. Just depends on what they are offering. So I thought it'd be kind of fun if today we went back and we took three that I had looked at in the past and we checked out and saw how well they did. Now these are three that all funded, so we're going to see how well they funded, and we're going to kind of evaluate that against my sort of objective three best practices of crowdfunding. And we're just going to kind of see how the predictions came out. So, on this thing, everybody, let's all gather around, let's all come to Jesus, and hang on tight for this. So let's cut over, shall we, to browser vision. And if you have missed any of these fantastic vids I have done with marketing analysis on action figure or adjacent toys, there's some figurines I covered at one point, but if you want to catch any of these other vids where I do analysis or talk about crowd-funded projects, including the big dogs, the big corporations, HasLab, I have several HasLab videos. They're quite a bit different from these Kickstarter ones, as well they should be, but there's a lot of them on here as well. Well, you can find them, of course, on my channel and on YouTube. I have a playlist I have created called Action Figure Kickstarters and Crowdfunds. This is the playlist right here. It's a lot of fun to dig through these, go back over the ages, and see some of the stuff I've covered. Okay, let's move to our first revisitation. We're going to look at the combat creatures first. So combat creatures, I'm not sure exactly where to begin with this, but the concept is if you loved those little sort of 2-inch battle beasts, or 3-inch, I have a couple at home I should know, but if you love those battle beast figures from the 80s, and they were like a second generation of kind of those rubbery toys like Muscle, right? They're sort of in that vein. If you liked Muscle, you probably like Battle Beast. Well, if you like those, this dude, Bo Hacking, came out with, he's a toy designer, came out with essentially 4 designs of like a Battle Beast type figure, but blimped up to 6.5 inches, so like a 1/12 scale. And you can see them here. They're kind of big, beefy dudes, and they've got animal heads. There's like a lion, and he's sort of beefy with like lion codpiece and lion shoulder and a lion helmet, all that kind of stuff. Looks like there's a bear, shark, which I love. Who doesn't love the shark? And a wolf. Okay, and they're 35 bucks each, right? He did have also some 3D printed figures you could get in addition. You could get little Battle Beast versions of these that he was going to 3D print himself and ship out to you. He also has his own 3D printed version of these figures in a 1/18 scale, so a 4-inch figure as well, that he looks like he'll print off and ship to you. But what he was mainly trying to sell you was these three figures. Now, the best practices. I'm only going to put this up on the board once for you guys because I know it's kind of painful to check out. But the best practices of crowdfunding was the 3-tier pricing. Something cheap, something deluxe, something luxury. Next, the bigger the variety, the better you're going to do. And then just a note about your marketing, you really need to load up all of your best marketing material on the Kickstarter. We don't want to go there and go, well, what is a battle beast? Maybe you should link to a YouTube video about what battle beasts are. Not everyone knows. Not everyone's in on the joke. And if you show them what a battle beast is, they might love it more. So that's how you would kind of use the sort of best practice number 3. All right, so in this, he really has these deluxe figures. In my opinion, they're $35 each. And the 3D printed stuff was kind of the cheaper thing, and there wasn't really a luxury item. A luxury item for this that would have been perfect, but if you had some big giant elephant guy or a rhino man, or you know what I'm talking about, like a big animal represented as like requires more money, bigger mold, crazier deco, you know, that guy gets gold or something, gold bracelets, wristlets, a whole bunch more accessories, you know, a luxury thing, something there that doesn't really cost that much to make, but the value is perceived as a lot, and people who have disposable income, they will buy it, and you make it specifically for these people to buy. That's the point of it. And he doesn't really have that. He does have the entry-level thing, but it's not particularly awesome because his samples aren't particularly awesome. And when we go to see exactly how well the campaign did, he was just trying to get $65,000, which is not that much. So he's reusing a lot of the parts, a lot of the legs and the armor pieces and bits all mix and match between them. He's got different heads and a little different extra. It looks like he did a really great job on managing his production. And podcasts I saw where Bo Hacking was on, he totally gave me faith in him as a toy designer, as a guy who can turn around and make product, right? But he only barely cleared it at $73,000. I remember I was watching this and I didn't think it was going to clear, but at the very end, he got some last-minute orders. It could have been that those came from some retailers who sunk some money into him, either a real or a promissory. And in fact, if you go over to Big Bad Toy Store, you can see that they're now up for pre-order. And how much are they? $35. What was he asking for? $35. So if you didn't back this, good news. You can now get it on Big Bad Toy Store. You can pre-order it now or wait. I'm sure there'll be some available, some extras that come in when these things are finally printed and go out to everybody, and you can get them for $35 then. And I'm probably sure that he would charge shipping on this, and then, you know, $35 plus shipping. Big Bad Toy Store shipping is only $4. So if you wait, you keep your money, you pay less than if you had crowdfunded it. Now this to me is a problem, and people are going to have to fix this in campaigns going forward. If you're, I don't want to call it the aftermarket, but if this is your pre-market, then your market, which is Big Bad Toy Store, you really need to carrot and stick people and give them cheap, awesome, good deals on the Kickstarter as an incentive. Otherwise, no one's going to back it. They're just going to wait. And guess what? Mark Major, that's me, did not back this. You know why? Because I'm going to wait. I'm definitely going to get a Shark Man. I've mentioned the Shark Man several times. I'm definitely getting them. But it doesn't make any sense right now for me to put any money into it. And you're like, well, but Mark, if you don't, then it doesn't get made. I don't, you know, like if you talk about first world problems, right? That's kind of like, he needs to figure that out, not me. I don't have, why am I on the hook for someone's business plan, someone's design, someone's marketing? Also, if you take a risk and it pays off and you become rich, what do I get, right? No, but I'm responsible if someone failed. No, you work it out. Stop blaming the customers. If you need to clip this out, clip it out. Don't blame customers for your marketing. So didn't back. However, not only do I want to get the Shark Man, I want to get the 4-inch Shark Man. And I went to his website, and it looks like anytime you want any of these guys, he'll just crank one off for you. And it looks like a good deal, too. I have to say that I like the designs, but I don't think that they are awesome and the thing that pulls you in. Let me give you an example. Look at the Lion Man. If you took the lion head off and just put a dude's head, it's just a dude. He's got dude legs, he's got dude arms, dude hands. He's got some lion-looking armor. If you remove the head, that's it. And to me, that's not enough. Again, let's go to Stan Winston's Realm of the Claw action figures. Google that. Look at those figures. Really terrible articulation. That's check against the Stan Winstons. However, they kind of got the, like, it's a man, it's a cat. Look at how it muscle moves and everything. He kind of got that down. Kind of why the articulation is terrible. Anyways, combat creatures, great idea, but the designs to me are not amazing. I get the feeling that this is actually just kind of early in Bo Hacking's career. I think this guy is going to do something amazing in the future. I really do think that this is kind of his freshman sort of thing. He's going to do some kind of sophomoric thing, and then the bow hacking stuff is going to become amazing. We're going to see a lot more of this cat in the future, especially since he knows how to produce toys. He knows how to design them. He knows how to get the factory to make them. And I think he's going to have a fast and quick turnaround on this stuff. I have total faith in him. I just think the designs, as far as his career go, are too early. Still getting a Shark Man. All right, let's move on to second of three Kickstarters we're looking at. Legendary or Dairy. I know not which, nor do I really care, to be honest. However, look at this. You backed this project. Yes, I did. Why? Not sure. The more I look at it, the more I'm not sure. So this had a total of, I think, 14 or 15 figures available. There's some graphic like here. This is all the unlocks, okay? Now, remember, right? Remember, three-tier pricing. Cheap entry stuff, bottom of the pyramid, a lot of them. A few deluxe items. Very few, if any, luxury figures. That's what you want. And on this one, he was doing 39 bucks a figure. There were some army builder guys that were cheaper at 25. But for the most part, anything you saw here is 39 bucks. Now, if you go over to the Big Bad Toy Store, which I happen to have queued up, and we sort through price on here, we can see that he slightly kicked the price up from the Kickstarter, although if you figure in the $4 shipping, not enough, which means these either need to go up, which means less people are going to buy them, which means you're going to sell less, or the other ones should really kind of come down so as that more people want to jump in the boat early. Why? Because it's cheap, even though you got to sit and wait. With the $4 shipping, you really got to consider Big Bad Toy Store almost to be your best bet, because you're not going to get them any faster by being a Kickstarter than if you wait for Big Bad Toy Store to get them. In fact, when you look at it, people, and I know people get upset about this, because I'm one of the people that gets upset about this, but here's what happens. When you're a business, you take care of your biggest customer first. If that happens to be a retail store like Big Bad Toy Store versus, say, a backer who went all in or a backer who bought one figure, right? You're going to take care of the Big Bad Toy Store because they bought multiple all-ins that they're selling. You're going to take care of the all-in guy after Big Bad Toy Store, and the guy who bought one, you should get to him last, right? You go in order of importance of how much money they spent. That's the way these things usually work out. That's the way they're kind of supposed to work out in some ways. If you paid more money, you should get better treatment. That's the way most people in America feel, or around the world, if you live in some kind of society that has some kind of semblance of a free market, right? You know, like, hey, I'm a big spender in here. I come in here all the time. People clip my card for coffee. I get a free coffee after 10, that kind of thing. So, of course, Big Bad Toy Store is going to get them before the Kickstarter people are, which means the people who didn't back this, who waited, are going to get them cheaper and first before the Kickstarter people. I bring this up because no one else wants to talk about this, but I'm a person who does not hide behind a mask or an alias. I'm out here just talking about it on my own, being myself. You heard it here maybe first or second, but you did hear it here. Okay, now look at how he has these priced out. You've got two guys for 30 bucks. Everything else is $49 on here, and he's got a lot of figures. A legendary amount of figures is what this is. And then there's two big dogs at the bottom for 60 bucks, $59.99. Which, by the way, this guy, the giant dude with the angel wings and the head, this guy character looks amazing. Looks absolutely amazing. This is the one I should have backed. I backed some other one, I'm not sure why. Could have got this one for 39 bucks, I think. Should have done it. Anyways, that guy looks just as a piece of sculpture, as a piece of modern sculpture in your house, looks amazing. Some of the other ones look pretty cool too. Some of them it's like if you like it or you don't like it. Okay. But what they should have done, in my opinion, is they should have had a lot of these $30 guys. They should have dumbed these down somehow and made like 6, 7, 8 of the $30 guys and just had an army of $30 guys. Then a few of the $50 guys, okay? You know, 4. And then like 2 of the luxury figures. He's kind of got a bloated middle section, which means it's difficult for people's budgets to buy a lot, even though they're all kind of cool in their own way. People I've talked to online in the comments, everyone seems to say, oh, I like this guy, I like that guy. I'm not in for all these guys, but I do like this. Everyone kind of has the same thing. So in terms of variety, this campaign has crushing variety. In terms of its tiers, it's kind of funky. He's got something going on, but it's kind of funky as far as like a lot of deluxe figures, not enough cheap figures. And how well did he do? Pretty good. Definitely hit the $125,000 mark, which he needed, which I think that's pretty fantastic of a low budget given how many figures and molds he needs to come up with. To hit $190,000, I think, speaks to the fact that these look really good. The photography looks really good. The combat creatures photography kind of looked terrible. And these guys look like I'm looking at video game graphics. I don't know what they had to do to get these to look this way, but this looks like I'm looking at some sort of crazy Fortnite in space game or something. And, you know, maybe this should be a game. Maybe this is how games get started now. Maybe you mold up some characters, and if they look cool enough and people buy them, make a game out of it. So it looks like quite a few people jumped on board, but $250,000 would have been doubling it and did not quite hit that. Still, congratulations, they worked enough to get me to buy one. That's pretty good, and I already pointed out that it's cheaper if you don't. However, I threw in, you know, I thought the price was probably going to go up a little bit, and I said, let's just throw in. And it worked. It worked for them. They got a sale out of it. Okay, let's go to our last one, and that would be Cyberzoic. Now, I backed this project as well. These guys crushed it, although this dude, David, is it Silva? I want to say that's the guy's name. David Silva is the dude who leads this, and I follow him on Twitter, on X-Twitter, Twitter X. I'm trying to make one word out of two. Not going to happen. So, interesting cat, always comes up with interesting things, very interesting designs, very interesting following. Look at this, 1,638 people put $600,000 and change, 3 times the ask into this. This is nuts. This is a big dog. This is as big, in my opinion, as Savage Crucible, which totally crushed it and is one of the bases from which we get our best practices from. Remember, if you go back to that original video, we looked at 4 successful campaigns and we looked to see what they did to cause us to create a set of best practices, and Savage Crucible is kind of that to a T. They sort of minted everything that's on that list, and these guys are coming up extremely close, perhaps even passing. Now let's look at all the stuff for sale. You want to talk about variety, and if you want to talk about different price tiers, this is it. This has got everything, right? You can get just a single 4-inch dude, $25. You want a dinosaur? $100. You want the saddle, extra $40. You want the dude to ride the saddle on the dinosaur, $155, right? He's got all sorts of pricing built into that. That's figure 1. Here's another set. This chick, she rides this weird saber-toothed tiger. $55 tiger, $25 for the girl, $25 for the saddle. What does the saddle do? Well, without the saddle, the chick doesn't ride it. That's what I figured out. Of course, $100 for the set. Then there's this giant thing, $200 for a dragon. Why? Who cares? If people are willing to buy it, make it, right? I don't know what the mold for that thing costs, but I don't know if they actually made any money, to be honest, with the amount of molds. And then, of course, they've got bundles of get all 3. And then we get to these unlocks. The unlocks keep the variety coming. Look at this. Another dude, a different dinosaur, only $65, $32 for the exoskeleton that goes onto it. Of course, there's a bundle pack. Why not? Then you've got some like troop building packs with carrot and stick. Buy multiple dudes, get them for cheaper, right? Instead of paying $75 for 3, get them for $69. Then there's the sort of Kickstarter exclusive, sort of make something unique that you can only get here that you can't get on Big Bad Toy Store. Then, of course, we've got all these bundles of bundles, right? This guy is selling on top of selling. And then we get another figure unlocked, another dinosaur, only $30 this time, and then like a weird weapon set for $25. And, of course, a little bundle pack. How could you not get that? More troop building, More troop building with bundle pack building. And look at this, another figure unlocked, another dinosaur, $80, right? And a rider to go with it and a saddle to go with it, all bundled together, and it keeps going. Another figure unlocked, another dinosaur, only 55 bucks. The exoskeleton almost as much as as the piece itself. Of course, this cat is bundling all these together. He's making bundles of the waves of individual figures. Another dinosaur unlocked, some sort of weird Gundam armor, another dude unlocked. And look, they just have like the 3D models of the guys at this point. They're just unlocking all this stuff as they hit these huge numbers. And of course, there's bundles of them, and people are going to buy the bundles on top of bundles on top of bundles. It's a very bundleable kind of thing. Look at this one, another dinosaur unlocked for 90 bucks, $30 for this Super Rider. He's the deluxe figure, right? $5 more. I think that's great. Got this weird saddle for it. Looks like this. Look, another dude unlocked, another weird saddle thing. Only 20 points of articulation, 25 bucks, and get that chick. Another huge, weird gonzo dragon. So you can see that this campaign has got variety on top of variety on top of variety on top of variety. It has got things in the cheap $20, $25 mark. It's got things for like dinosaurs for 35 bucks, 55, 65, 80, 90. It's got $200 dragons. Bundles of different packs, of different waves, of different things. How are they going to fulfill all this? Who is working on this? Who is going to be who's got to go through these orders and figure out who gets what? Who's going to be in charge of returns and damages? This is a huge campaign, but it's got generating a huge amount of overhead. And another thing I like to point out, and I pointed out on also how successful Savage Crucible was look at how many people are on this team. You need to realize that to hit numbers of like these $600,000, over like $500,000 on these campaigns for action figures, right? When they just need to get some molds made and some figures cranked out and decoed out and packaged out and sent to people. Look at how many artists they have on hand. Look at the sculptors. Look at the people doing paints. Look at the design. Look at the people working on the packaging. One guy just gets a special thanks. He probably did, who knows what he did. Special thanks could mean more than any of what these people did, or could mean absolutely nothing. That's the great thing about a special thanks. It's special and a thanks, and it's right there. It's Ben Conway, and good on him. So I actually backed this, as you might have guessed. Why? It had everything for everybody. If you hate dinosaurs, don't worry. You don't have to buy a single dinosaur. What if you just hate action figures of people, and you hate dinosaurs? You can buy saddles, you can buy weird sort of packs of weapon accessories, you could get kind of their own flying ships. Some of these saddles might work on other dinosaur lines. There's so many dinosaurs out there made from all sorts of different manufacturers that some of these saddles could be reusable, and it would be great if when people actually got these, they posted pictures and videos of how they took this saddle and they put it on this Jurassic Park 2013 blah blah blah. You know what I'm talking about, right? That's what I'm looking for, is the people who get the stuff and then they're like, oh, well, look what I did with it, that kind of thing. You know, they put a saddle on their Incredible Hulk guy. I'm waiting for that, okay? That's what I want. But you can see why this entire team was successful, though, is because they had a huge variety and they had a whole bunch of price points. And I think a lot of it is also the guys' designs are, I'm going to say they are genuine person within the sort of ancient reptile community. This is a cat who clearly knows dinosaurs and ancient lizards and has a real eye for making, articulated action figure versions of them that seem to be, for $100, right, seem to be pretty high quality, and also it has a certain amount of like Dino Riders kitsch to it as well, with the riders and the futuristic armor and the saddles and things like that. But what I ended up doing is I ended up buying, I think I ended up getting a total of 3 of the figures. And I think I got all 3 of the female figures. I kind of remember pledging for 1 female figure, and I think I bought a couple more in backer kit. Maybe, maybe not. Maybe should log in and see what I bought. But I know I was into it, and I said, these look cool enough. I'm going to give this guy some money. I don't know if these are on Big Bad Toy Store or not as a pre-order. I'm pretty sure that when this guy gets his shipment of toys in, that all the people, that's his sculptors and everything, they're all going to get paid their money. And I think when he gets a shipment of toys in and after he's fulfilled, he's going to have a bunch of stock left over to sell. I think that is where the money is going to be made. And I think that's how Kickstarters are supposed to run. You're just supposed to get a sum of money that allows you to jumpstart the business and start selling. And then once you have all this product, you can start selling off your website. And at that point, you shouldn't have to use Kickstarter again, because it just puts another middleman in there that you have to feed. And so when you see companies continually going back to Kickstarter, to me, that's a bit of a red flag. Some people have said, Mark, don't red flag that. It's too late. The flag's already on the field. But it's a case-by-case scenario. Anyone can argue either way on any of this stuff. So looking at 3 Kickstarters there, applying the best practice logic to it, you can clearly see how those cats who follow the best practice, and you saw all the marketing on the Cyberzoic that I went through, there wasn't anything that you're confused about other than the fact that they were unlocking figures so fast that they really couldn't get 3D printed, mocked up versions of them in time for the Kickstarter. That's how well it was doing. And in some ways, that's a problem you want. So thanks to everybody who made it this far in the video. And I think you guys know you need to stay charged.